the Komet Academy was developed when early on when I started working at Komet, we're trying to figure out how we could have the most impact on the industry. And so Hugo and I decided that we were going to build an educational series called the Komet Academy. We started with that first Building a Better Sprinkler Package Academy, and it's really geared towards teaching about water application and everything it takes to design a proper sprinkler package without having it being product based. And so we could disseminate that information to everybody who had anything to do with the center pivot so that they could learn how to make an informed decision. The Komet Academies are aimed at teaching to anybody who works with one of these machines. So we're talking OEMs, dealers, growers, service people, anybody who works in the industry with a center pivot. So that could be also agronomists, anybody who works in the agronomy side of farming. As long as there's a center pivot involved, we really wanted to be able to develop a teaching series that involved everybody, not just the product itself that we're putting on the pivot to distribute water. We did the first academy trial run at a dealership here in Nebraska. There was only about a dozen growers there and the dealer personnel, and we presented the academy, and we got feedback afterwards that a lot of these growers and even the dealer personnel had been working with center pivots for decades, but had never really understood or learned how the water application cycle works. And so they were very appreciative to be able to understand that full cycle at that point and be able to apply that on their own farms. The academies are really based on teaching the fundamentals of water application in the field environment. And we base the academies on those fundamental principles. However, we're always learning. We're always going into the field and discovering new things, and we're adding that to the academies as we go. Even when we present the academies, whether it's in an online environment or in person, we're getting feedback from growers, we're getting feedback from designers, we're getting feedback from everybody who uses the pivot and uses the sprinklers to be able to get their ideas. And we learn new things all the time as well as we're presenting these. So we're always adding and developing. The first Building Better Sprinkler Package Academy that I helped develop with Hugo, that's different today in many ways than it was in the beginning, because we've added to our knowledge, and we add that to the trainings that we do. When we developed the academies, we wanted to do something different to where most of the trainings that we had access to in the field at that time were product-based. They weren't really based on the field environment or how those products and how the water interacted with the field environment and the crops, the soil types, the agronomy packages that were being used by the growers. So we developed this to be able to be different and to be able to have a non-product based approach to the training, so that growers could make an informed decision. It didn't exist before we started to develop these trainings. The most popular of the academies is still Building a Better Sprinkler Package. It's the basis for all of the other ones. So it really goes through everything from the soil types, crop types, sprinkler types, different hydraulic conditions in the field. That's still the most popular one that we do. But in modern times, when we're looking at really conserving our energy, conserving our resources, a lot of what we're looking at now is built into that academy that's called lowering application intensity. That's become a very popular one as well. In those areas across the world, Australia, Brazil, the United States, Canada, where there's a lot of center pivots that have been out for a lot of years, the Troubleshooting Academy is very, very popular as well, because we go through how to evaluate issues that you may find in the field. And make sure that the sprinkler packages are still operating where they need to be, or if they need to be changed. So there's a lot of information there that really we don't think about, because these are one of the machines that never comes into the shop to get fixed. So troubleshooting is very, very popular as well. We have people participate in the academies from all over the world, and they're mostly anybody that works on a center pivot, whether it's a grower who's running the center pivot. It could be again OEMs, it could be dealer personnel, but we have all types that are attending the academies and interacting with us in these academies. We have anywhere from in person, where it's just one or two of us out in the field going through an academy, to 100 to 200 in person and online. So it can be very intimate and personal. It can be in a large setting, but the academies work in all those different settings. The primary purpose of the academies is to teach and to disseminate the information about water application and how water application really works and how it should work. When I was farming, when we put this particular center pivot in 25 years ago, I didn't have that understanding. It wasn't until I got into the industry, started designing, started working in the field, and learning about how everything works together. And that's the way all of our people in the field at Komet Irrigation do as well. They learn by doing and learn in the field, but then we can teach that as well. And so that's really what the basis of the Komet Academies are all about.